Hello and welcome. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Lewis English. I am a consultant for business growth and change. I work with public sector and private sector. And no matter what I'm doing, no matter how I'm working, the majority of the work I do begins with a company's mission. First thing I ask is, do you have one? If you don't have one, would you like one? If you do have one, what is it? But most importantly, how many people within your business know what your mission is? So today, from both a business perspective, a brand perspective, and a marketing perspective, we are going to talk about what is a mission, what is not a mission, what's the difference between a mission and a vision and values and all of that kind of stuff, and how having a really good mission can help you in the long term for growing your business and making you more appealing to your customers, your users, or whoever else it is uses your business. So let's get started. Your mission is the hardest thing that you can do. But once you have it, it's like laying that first brick. You've got to set it out. You've got to make sure it's level. You've got to make sure it's right. You've got to make sure it's the thing that's going to work for you. And if we think about that building, if that first stone is in the wrong place, if it's not quite level, then everything else you build on top of that, all the other parts of your business that you build on top of that, is going to be something that is going to be wonky. It's going to be off. It's not going to look very good. And eventually it might fall down. So understanding your mission, what it is, what you stand for, all of that good stuff, it's the first step in the first mile of your company's journey. Where do we start? Well, we start from the start. And people go, well, that's really simple, obviously, Lewis. Of course you would start there. You would be surprised how many businesses, quite successful businesses, that are in trouble now are struggling because they have no unifying core central mission for their business. They don't know why their customers use them. They don't know what we should all be doing within the business, and they don't know how to pull together all of the things that make their company really good into something that's going to drive everybody in that business and customers all together to create something that is easily understood, that is simple to think about, and that people know what it actually does. And when you lose sight of your mission, people start to wonder what it is you actually do. So, what is a mission? In essence, in the simplest possible form, it is a short written statement of your business's goals and philosophies. In an even shorter sense, it's how do you as a business want to change the world for the better? And that can work for an organization and that can work for a business. It's a few key components of that sentence. Short. It needs to be really short. It needs to be a sentence. You can probably get away with one comma, maybe another piece of punctuation, but that's about it. It needs to be written, so it needs to be set down somewhere, because if you write something, you're going to be able to show other people, and the act of writing it down, and this is a really interesting thing, is the mere act of writing something down means you are more likely to achieve it, because you have made a physical act to do something. It's a statement. It's not a question. It's not fuzzy. It's hard and it's fast and it's a declaration of what it is that you want to do. And then it must encapsulate what your goal is. What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? And your philosophy. So how a little bit are you going to get there? You're going to be ruthless. You're going to be empathetic. We've talked about values quite a bit already, other videos on the channel. And we'll talk about it again in the future, because after you've got your mission and your values and your vision sorted, they are the next step, your values. And we'll go through a little bit of how that flow goes further on into this live stream. It's the defining, driving force of your business. It's the reason why everybody does everything. And the reason why it needs to be a short written statement of business goals and philosophies is because what that means to your finance department is different than what it means to your HR department or your sales department or your marketing department. But they all need to be working towards the same goal and using the same philosophy. So if you don't have that, your sales team might be going off and promising a bunch of stuff that your finance team, your HR team, and your customer service team can't match. And that's because their mission is different than the mission of the finance department or whoever else is doing that. And the key there is to understand that a mission is not a list of things that everybody should be doing. It's a direction. It's we want to climb that mountain over there. We know why we want to climb that mountain, and we know the guy is really good at sourcing our equipment is going to be focusing on that, but he knows what that mission is. The person who is going to be looking at which direction we should be going up the mountain, he's doing something completely different. But he needs to understand the equipment that we're going in, and the guy with the equipment needs to understand the route. And we all need to know where we're going, which mountain are we going to, how long it's going to take. That's what your mission is. So, a lot of confusion, and obviously this is my way of interpreting this as a business consultant with over 17 years of experience in working with public and private sector organizations. This is the way that I see the difference between your mission, a mission statement, a vision, and your values. So we're going to go through these steps. They're all important. They all lead into each other. They all overflow to each other. But they do provide different services, different thoughts, and different ways of interpreting your business. And so that's what we're going to have a look at. We're going to try and break them down using more simpler terms that don't look almost identical to each other. And we're going to define them, and we're going to see what they can do for us as a business. So this is it. Your mission is your goal. What do you want to achieve? I want to change the way people think about period poverty. I want to change, I want to make sure that every small business owner has the ability to deliver a service that works for them. You might have created an app. If you're a charity, your goal might be to, reduce the incidences of a particular cancer, and we're going to do that by providing research and development in a particular area, or we're going to provide, help and support for those people suffering from a particular ailment. Your mission is, I want to change the world. This is what I want to particularly change. Your mission statement is, from this point today to when I have achieved my mission in the future, that can be 1, 2, 5, 100 years, whatever it might be. What does that journey look like? We are going to do, we want to make sure that no person, let's take the charity thing to extreme. We want to make sure that nobody dies from pancreatic cancer in the future. That's our mission. How are we going to do that? Well, we're going to go on a journey. We're going to look at how we're going to focus on research. This is the type of research we're going to focus on. All of that kind of stuff. And it's a step-by-step guide that will obviously change, that says, this is our mission, and this is how we hope to achieve our mission over the next period of time. And the vision is then, once we have our mission, and once we've gone on our journey through our mission statement, we get to the end, and we've won, and we've completed our mission, we've changed the world. What does the world look like? It's science fiction, and I say this a little bit. It's science fiction. When you as a company have achieved your goal, We want to make sure that there's a PC in every home, in every, in every office, in every, whatever, the Microsoft mission. Once you've got that, what does your vision look like? Well, once everybody's got a computer in the house, they'll be able to research and have the whole world at their fingertips and equality and all of that kind of stuff. That's your vision. Your vision is, when I've completed my mission, what does it look like? And your values are the rules. We've gone through this already in a previous live stream. Your rules for getting there. So if you want to make sure a PC is in every room, in every house, in the entire world, there are certain things that you want to do. Sorry, excuse me. And there are certain things that you don't want to do. Technically, one of your values could be, we're going to break into every single house and we're going to put a PC in there whether they want it or not. That's not a good value because you don't make any money from that. It's invasive, it's illegal, all of that kind of stuff. But that's your values. How are you going to do the mission and achieve your mission through your mission statement? What rules are you going to follow on that journey? It actually works a little bit like that. So you can do it depending on what kind of brain thought processes you like to go to. Some people like doing it this way around. So you've got this way, this makes sense to some people. Here's your goal. This is the journey I'll go on. This is what will happen when I get there. And these are the rules I'm going to follow as I go along. Sometimes people want to go, this is my mission, and these are the rules. And when I get there, this is what the world will look like. That's more aspirational. And then once I know the rules I'm going to follow, what I'm trying to achieve, and what the ending will look like, I'm going to fill in the gaps in between. I'm going to create that journey that says, I know what the ending is, I just now need to get there. That is perfectly reasonable. That is perfectly understandable, and it depends on how you see the world. And that's okay. Because everybody works in different ways, and the kind of work that I do is all about working with individual clients and customers to give them what they need. And if this is what you need, if this version of it is what you need, great. Another way of looking at it is to think more about the doing words, the verbs. Mission is, what do I want to achieve? What's my achievement? Values is, what structure am I going to use by? My vision is, what's the outcome at the end of the machine? And then the mission statement is the description. All of the three things I've just said are identical in terms of what it actually is. But in fact, depending on how you see the world, will depend on how you see this. And it will also affect what your mission is, because your mission as a business leader, or as a business person, or as a charity runner, or as a public sector organization, this means something to you. And so it needs to be in your language. And what becomes really hard is, you should do this with your staff. You do this with your employees. If you're a one-person company, that's okay. But if you've got 25 people, 2,500 people, in my opinion, everybody needs to know what this means. Everybody needs to have an input and a say on this. And that's where it becomes even more difficult, but ultimately massively rewarding. We go back to the previous thing that we were saying about having different departments and them all needing to know what the mission is and how they fit into the mission statement, and what will happen and what rules they have to deal with when they get there. That's the key to a good, well-functioning work or organization that knows what it's supposed to be doing and does it quickly and efficiently. So the great thing about this is every story ever told is based on this. You can do it with Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, the mission is, in Lord of the Rings, to get rid of the One Ring because it's evil and Sauron wants to take over the world. Okay? So the values of that are, apparently we're not going to use eagles for reasons, and therefore our values are, we're going to form a fellowship, we're going to protect it, that we need to find someone, we need to have as little impact on other people as possible. Humans can't hold the ring for very long, but hobbits seem to be able to, so we're going to bring up 4 hobbits with us. Our vision is, when the world is saved from the ring, we're all going to be really happy. That's something we can work towards and strive over, and evil will be gone. And then the mission statement is the Lord of the Rings. It's how step by step they went about achieving their mission. Star Wars is exactly the same. We want to blow up the Death Star. How are we going to blow up the Death Star? Well, we have certain values that we want to use. Some of those are less positive than the Lord of the Rings. They don't mind blowing up everybody on the Death Star. The vision will be that we'll have a peaceful, we'll have dealt a death blow to the Empire and all of that kind of stuff. And another one is NASA in the 1960s. Their mission was to get to the moon. Why? Well, lots of reasons. Mainly, they didn't want the Russians to get there first, but also they wanted to develop new technology, all of that kind of stuff. Their values were, we're not just going to kill lots of people to get there. Astronaut safety is incredibly important. When Apollo 1 disaster happened, they spent a long time checking whether it was right. The next manned mission was Apollo 8. The vision will be, we'll have got to the moon, we'll have invented loads of technology. The Russians won't have got there first. And the mission statement is the step-by-step guide. And what that does for NASA is it allows everybody there to go, does this get us closer to our mission or not? And if it does get us closer to the mission, let's do it. And if it doesn't get us closer to our mission, let's not do it. And that's everyone from the accounting department to the R&D department to the tech department to mission control, all of that. That's what a mission is about. And so you end up with a really functional system that takes 8 years to get from we are getting beaten by the Russians to we put the first man on the moon. Because when a department head gets people coming from 2 different departments, one of them says, well, we're looking at direct entry, or we're looking at doing a slingshot maneuver, or we're looking at creating the microwave because we've got this particular problem. He can turn around and go, well, what is my mission? Mission is to get to the moon. Okay, well, I'm going to work out which one works for us best to achieve our mission, and we're going to do that. And if everybody does that in every single department, and they share values, and they share a vision, and they know through the mission statement what it is that they're trying to do, then everybody, even though they might not talk to each other every day, every week, every month, they know what their job role is. They know what the mission is and where they sit inside it, and are motivated to deliver the things that they need to deliver to make our mission a success. That's the key. And so you can hear that there's this underlying TikTok under the system, under the company, under the organization that says, we want to do this. We're all passionate about this. We all understand our position in this. We all understand our role to play in our mission. And therefore, we are going to move forward together. And it doesn't matter whether I'm in finance. It doesn't matter whether I'm in HR or sales, or I'm a warehouse operator. I know my part. I know what I'm supposed to be doing. And I know that it allows the whole organization to meet its goal. And I know what that goal is. And that's our mission. So that's why you should have a mission, because it allows everybody internally and externally to know who you are and what you stand for. Defines your purpose, gives you your company meaning, and everybody within that company meaning. It allows you to make quick decisions, because you can turn around and say, well, does this, my values and my mission are I want to help small businesses. A big business has just come to me and said, we want you to do this, and it was making me feel uncomfortable, and I don't know why. Well, does it meet your mission? Well, not really. Does it meet your values? No. Is it part of our mission statement? No. Will it allow us, when we get to our vision, to allow us to do it? Not really. Then don't do it. Say no. And say no because you've defined it in advance. It makes you honest. Love to help you, but I'm really sorry. Our mission is this. Going into an extreme version, if I went to a woodworker and said, I'd like you to fix my car, he probably would turn around and say, well, I don't do that. My mission is to provide amazing wooden furniture. And you're asking me for something I don't want. That's an extreme version of what we're talking about. But in the end, it's very simple. And so being able to turn around and have a company that goes, sorry, we don't do that, but we can help you. We can pass you on to somebody else because part of our mission is to help people. But we can't help you with that, and here's all the reasons why. That makes you honest, and it makes you useful, and it defines really what it is that you're doing. And I've said before, it lays the foundation stone of what it is that your business does and allows everybody to build on that. And when they make those individual decisions, they are building they're building a building on a master plan. They always know the right kind of brick to put down. They always know the values that they're supposed to be putting in. They've laid the foundation stone, and we know it's right, and we know it's flat, and we know it's going to build a company that we want to build. That's the importance of a mission. So what should it look like? Well, as always, and you saw this in our values live stream, it should be simple. It should be inspiring. It should want us to make the change that we're saying that we want to make. It should be challenging. It shouldn't be today I will go outside, although some days that's a really good way of getting out of bed. It should be hard. It shouldn't be impossible. It should be achievable, but it should be something that is really going to change and move the needle. It should be measurable. Do we get there? When we get there, do we know we've got there? And do we have a measurable thing that we want to say? So, it can be anything as specific as I want to help 100 businesses do something, right through to all small and medium businesses deserve a better accountancy experience. That's a mission. It is measurable. And why? Why do you want to be able to do the thing that you want to do? So let's go back. I want to eliminate pancreatic cancer because people will live better lives and longer lives, and we can do it. It's going to be hard, but we're going to do it. And the reason is because it's the right thing to do, because my family member has pancreatic, whatever it is for you, it has to include that. Well, why on earth am I doing it? So here are some good and particularly not good examples of missions. So the first one is we work hard every day to make X the world's most respected service brand. If we go back one, without even telling you what it is it simple? Not really. Is it inspiring? Certainly not. World's most respected service brand. Is it challenging? I actually don't know. But it says we work hard every day. What does working hard mean? Does it mean breaking rocks? Does it mean, what is that? As a mission, we work hard every day doesn't mean much to anybody. Is it measurable? No. I mean, we could put together some kind of panel to decide whether we are the world's most respected service brand. I don't know. And does it say why are they doing? Why are they doing this? We don't know. So, this is an American Express. It's quite hard to define what a bank or what a money lender actually does. But what this is kind of saying, well, it doesn't really say anything. And if I'm the CEO, or I'm somebody who works in a entry level apprenticeship, this doesn't mean much to me. Second one is to reinvent how people share knowledge, tell stories, and inspire their audiences to act. This is TED Talks. Is it simple? Yes, I would say it is. Is it inspiring? I think it is. I think this is really good. So what's interesting is the word reinvent. That's challenging. So we're not willing to just keep doing things the way we've always done them. We want them to be challenging. We want to reinvent it because we think it's fundamental. What this word kind of means is that we think it's fundamentally broken. And we want to share knowledge, tell stories, and inspire our audiences to act. So we don't just want people to share. We want people to do as well. Is it measurable? I don't think it is. Because reinvention is great, but how do we know when we've reinvented it? So I think that could be stronger. And does it say why? Not really. Although knowledge sharing and telling stories is great, but there's no reason, we don't know why they want people to do this. which I think could be helped a little bit more. To accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy, that's a really good one. That's Tesla. So Tesla, you'll notice there, they're not talking about cars, they're not talking about Cybertrucks or whatever. What they are doing is they are simply stating they are going to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. And the way that they have decided it's a part of their mission statement and part of their values is they're going to focus on cars because they want to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. And the way they're going to transition and accelerate that is by focusing on something very specific, which is cars. So that's challenging, very challenging. They want to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. It is measurable. You could turn around and say, okay, well, 3 years ago, the uptake of electric vehicles was X and now it's Y. So it is measurable. And it says why. It doesn't say why here, but I'm not necessarily sure you always need everything in something. And I think it's so succinct. You could put to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy for future generations. That could help. And to empower small businesses to think like a big business. That's mine. And I think it's simple, inspiring, challenging, and measurable. I don't want to go too much into my own thing. I'm more than happy to hear your thoughts on my mission in the comments below. So, as I said, Microsoft, our mission is to empower every person, every organization on the planet to achieve more. It's wishy-washy. Doesn't really do anything. How are you achieving more? Yes, it's inspiring. Yes, it's challenging. I don't think it's measurable. And I'm not sure it's simple because it could be done in so many different ways. But it's such a big company. There we go. Tesla again. So each one of those is trying to define the mission. And the mission is the first step and the first mile to your company's journey. And what we've learned today is having something that powerful within your business is a real positive way to deliver something that everybody understands. Why do you do this? Why do you run this company? Why do you run this candle company? Why do you run this charity? The answer is always, well, my mission is to change something. And I'm going to change it by using these values. And when it's done, I'm going to have changed the world in this way. And here's how I'm going to do it. Having that at the core of your business allows you to change the world and to be super focused on what it is that you're trying to do. This is a company that's no longer around, and this is their mission. This is not their mission, their values, their mission statement, and their vision. This is their mission. If you're having to put B and C and A into things, it's not simple. I could read it. I already don't want to, because the number of big, fat words that Cultivating Transformative Business Community committed to A, attracting and retaining, creating a collaborative. That's technically one sentence. Okay? To impact in a transformative way, regionally, nationally, and globally, by engaging with partners outside the traditional borders of business. I don't know what they do. To work together to create a better future through all education, enterprise, and impact. So they're defining who they are. Sorry, excuse me. They're defining who they are, but they're not saying why they're doing it, who they're doing it. That their customers have no idea what any of this means. It's none of those things. It's none of those things. And it should be and it could be. Because what the company did was really good. It was about education and employment, and there's nothing here. Achieve their full potential. But it's wishy-washy. It's not specific. It's not measurable. It's a lot of words. So once you have a mission, you can do everything else. This is the beginning of a journey that defines your brand. And I don't mean logos or websites. I mean, what does your business stand for? What does it do? Once you have your mission, you know what you want to do with your business. And you've written that mission statement and you've written that vision and you've got your values. You can then turn around and say, okay, well, now I have these 4 things. Now I know who the business is. Now I know what I want it to achieve. Now I know how I'm going to achieve that. What's the first step on my journey? What can I do today? What can I do tomorrow that gets me one step closer to achieving my mission? And those are your priorities. And those should be focused on your customer. Because if your customer is not part of your mission, your vision, your values, if you're turning around and saying, I just want to make lots of money, no one cares. No one understands. And your priority should just be rob a bank or go and scam people. Once you've got a mission, and once you've said, okay, I want to, change, I want to make sure that all 18-year-olds have the ability to run their own business, for example. What's your target audience? Well, if I say that everybody should have the ability to run their own business, and I'm going to do that through education, then my priority is let's create a course, let's build it out, let's do whatever. The finance person will be, how are we going to fund this? Let's put a cost assessment. The salesperson is, how can I sell this to my to the people that I want to sell it to? These are the priorities. These are your target audiences. You can then put together, okay, well, now I know that my customers are in a particular area. What do they like? What do they not like? Because if my mission is to help people in a way that allows them to be better, they need to be comfortable and understanding of what it is they're doing. So what drives them? What are their motivations? What do they like? What do they not like? And then you create personality and benefits of a company that matches your target audience, because that's what they like and what they don't like. And you've done the research. And the reason you know all of this is because you've prioritized working with particular areas, because you know that your mission requires you to work with certain people, do certain things. That's the key. Simple, inspiring, challenging. Next time, we're going to look at values, how you pull values together. We're going to look at, now you have your mission and your mission statement and your vision. What rules are you going to use to get there? I hope this has been helpful. I really like and enjoy doing these. A mission is the most difficult thing that you can do in your business. That's why a lot of companies don't have one. Because once you have that mission defined, you've locked yourself into delivering something for the future. And everything you do has to work towards it. And you have to question yourself about what it is that you're doing if you're moving away from that mission. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your time.